Welcome to Challenger Deep, athletes rising above adversity, where we explore stories of athletes who faced their lowest points and risen to incredible heights. Did you know Challenger Deep is the lowest point in the ocean, making it the lowest point on Earth? When you're at your lowest, the beautiful truth is there's nowhere to go but up. We all face adversity, but how we choose to respond defines who we become. Join hosts Jeff Hagee and Tammy Matheny as we share powerful stories of everyday athletes' resilience, growth, and triumph. These stories will inspire you to rise above your challenges and reach new heights. Let's dive in.
All right, we are excited to have everyone back for our latest edition of Challenger Deep podcast. Today is a little different. We're excited to have our great friend Chip Baker and hopefully a couple more of his authors from his compilation book, The Path for Coaches Mentoring. So, Chip, glad to have you with us. Tell us about yourself and your authors.
Yeah, well, first, Tammy, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you and Jeff so much for the opportunity to have us on your podcast. Been looking forward to it. It's always a treat when you can connect with the good people, and so you guys are great people doing great things, and I'm honored to that you would think enough of us to have us on your platform. And so myself, just Chip Baker, fourth generation educator, teacher, former coach. I'm blessed and fortunate to be raised by some great people as well as be around some awesome folks to learn from. Uh, I am a fourth generation educator, teacher, former coach. I'm proud of that. I always smile, catch myself smiling when I say that. Uh, Fourth generation educator, teacher, former coach. I'm in my 26th year of education. I coached for 20 of those years and been blessed and fortunate to do some really neat things. Have a YouTube channel and podcast, The Success Chronicles. I started about 9 years ago. And what I do is I just interview people from all walks of life, share their stories for positive inspiration and motivation, and then started writing books a little bit after that. And to the date, published a few of those, and a few of those have been bestsellers, and that brings us to where we are today. And we're just highlighting our new book, The Path for Coaches. You know, so many of us have had coaches, leaders, family members, people that have poured into us in our life, that have influenced us in a positive way, and set us on our path to greatness, right? And so we believe that mentoring is a huge part of guiding people in that path. And so that's why we're here today, just to discuss our new book. And again, thanks for having us.
All right, George, we're glad you've joined us too. So I know Chip, you're one of Chip's authors. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with this project.
First of all, as Chip stated, thank you again, Jeff and Tammy, for having us. It's a pleasure meeting you guys. It's really a great opportunity. I'm also grateful for Chip for even thinking about including me in this project with him. My name is George Lee. I'm originally from Houston, Texas. Kind of been all over between Southeast Texas and up in deep East Texas roots. But myself, I'm a first generation educator, unlike Chip. I guess I'm the first in my family to get an education. First male in my family to actually attend and get a bachelor's degree, and first male to get a master's degree in my family. So this whole kind of cycle of education and teaching kind of started with myself. But I don't get here without those mentorships and without those individuals in my life as well. And so Chip has been a great friend of mine over the last 4 or 5 years. Really kind of grown to know Chip and see the work that he's done, and really been inspired by a lot of the things he's accomplished over the last few years. And then when you get to know him, like you become really, really good friends with him. And so he's really helped me as a mentor as well. And when he reached out about uh, collaborating on this project, man, it was just music to my ears because I was a recipient of his mentorship and several others that are collabing as well. And just to know that he sees and values what I've been able to accomplish and what I've been able to do, and that it could be a resource to somebody else was just, awesome opportunity that I couldn't pass up.
Hey, this episode of Challenger Deep Athletes Rise Above Adversity is brought to you by doTERRA, the world's leader in essential oils and wellness products. Are you ready to fuel your health and recovery like a pro? Listeners of this podcast can get 25% off all their doTERRA products and supplements. Head to the link in our show notes or go to confidentathleteprogram.com/doTERRA and start your journey to peak performance today.
Well,
That's
congratulations for
awesome.
being first generation. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Um, One thing that we always like to start with and ask, and I want to make sure we tie it into the mentorship and your book, but when either one of you hear the word adversity, what does that mean to you?
When I hear the word adversity, adversity, maybe in my youth, it may have seemed like a challenge, but now that I've kind of gotten older and matured a little bit, I actually see adversity as opportunity. I really don't think that you hit those milestones or have those moments that you capture in life without adversity. And so those adverse moments in your life really come to really propel you to who you're supposed to be. It really defines what your purpose and your passions really are, and it really pulls and brings the most out of you. And then, being a coach, not only just being a teacher, but being a coach, it's those moments that we're preparing our athletes for, right? It's those moments that we're preparing our athletes to go out there and execute when the game's on the line, when the lights are bright, when your back's against the wall, and it's not you doing any more than what we know you're capable of. It's just you being poised and executing in the moment and knowing that, all your preparation is getting ready to show up in this moment. And so I really see adversity as opportunity. And so I think that change and shift in paradigm for me and perspective has really kind of helped me grow with not being afraid of the word adversity, but actually looking at it as an opportunity. So
Good. And I think for me, when I hear the word adversity, for me is yeah, what he said.
But we didn't save the best for last. We let the best go first.
Right on what he said. No, I agree as well. I think the initial thing is if you don't have maturity, if you hadn't been through some adverse things, um, if you hadn't experienced some tough things, you look at adversity as tough challenges, right? Your mindset is different. Oh, poor me, right? This happened to me, right? But then after you have grown through some things, you catch that after you have grown through some things, right? Because it's living lessons, right? Then you see, just like Lee said, it's opportunities for growth. It's opportunities to be better. And so, for me, I believe that life is living and learning. Wait, that means I've grown through a whole lot of things, right? Life is living and learning, right? And when we understand that, man, we look for those adverse situations, right? You're like, come on, sucker, I'm gonna hit you in the mouth. Come on, challenges, let's go, right? Because I know on the other side of those toughest challenges in my life, it's gonna be my maximum growth. And for me, that's what when I hear the word adversity, that's what I think of.
Well, for those that
So
don't know Chip, that's a boom moment right there.
Boom.
that's right. So
Love
both
it.
of you have the opportunity to deal with your athletes as they face adversity, because one of the things, that was the reason we wrote the book. We wanted people to be able to look at these stories of adversity and see that there is a path to opportunity, like you were saying. But when you're in the middle of that adversity, especially as a young athlete, that's not always an easy thing to do. So as coaches, how have you been able to do that? How have you been able to instill into your athletes so that when they are faced with that adversity, they're able to rise above rather than let it beat them down?
That's such a good question. I'm gonna jump on that one because I have a quote in the book. I'm a quote guy. I love quotes, and it's a quote from Denzel Washington. Show me a successful individual, and I'll show you someone who had real positive influences in his or her life. I don't care what you are doing for a living. If you do it well, I'm sure there was someone cheering you on or showing you the way, a mentor. All right. And that quote is from Denzel Washington. And so I think that, in the profession, it's important to be the example, right? I've been blessed with mentors in my life that were the example. Yes, they said things, um, but they walked the talk,
Yeah.
right? So like by their actions, I could watch them and see what it was like to be a coach. Man, that guy smiles all the time. He loves what he does, right? Like, man, that guy's passionate when he's coaching us, right? He loves what he does, right? Man, that guy's early and stays late all the time. Man, they love what they do, and so just by seeing those actions, those are things that I strive to do, in what I did, and so now I know what it feels like to receive that. So now I'm on the other side of that, of now striving to give that in my life to others because I know what it feels like to receive that. And so for me, I think the importance of that is just striving to be the example, and knowing that, even if you aren't trying to be, you are the example. You can help people with their path.
I like that a
Yeah.
lot. George, was anything you're going to add to that?
I mean, trying to follow tip is not always easy. But I would say this. I think one of the things that has helped me, I'm a big quote guy as well. But oftentimes, like, I'm a big content person, so I'm always kind of navigating and searching out there and looking for something that I can, share and impart into others. And one of the things that I've kind of adopted over the few years, is a quote that I heard from, he was a former coach of the Phoenix Suns at the time, Monty Williams, and it was kind of right after his wife had passed away, and he was eulogizing her, and then next year he was the head coach, and he was talking to the team, and he said a quote that he said, "Everything you want in life is on the other side of hard." And it kind of stuck with me. And so that's kind of become like my little mantra. No matter what I'm coaching, no matter what I'm doing, I work in special education and everything like that as well too. I've just kind of adopted that, and I really really instill that in my kids that, hey, whatever you desire, whatever you want to achieve in life, whether it's being good at a sport, whether it's being good at a craft, whether it's being good at a skill, or you just want to be a good son, be a good husband, be a good father one day, be better than what you are experiencing at the current moment. Hey, it's going to be hard, and you have to prepare yourself for hard. And then Chip was fortunate enough, he did a little video for our powerlifting banquet that we just recently had, and I stole one of his quotes now, which is "hard work works." And so, and that's another thing, is that, you have to trust the hard work that you put in, that it's going to work. So I just believe in those things, and I champion that and try to be consistent every day, that, we're going to get through the hard stuff together. So.
Awesome. So I'm going to have to steal some of those myself here. Um, as you've talked about your shift from, at first, adversity wasn't something that you saw as a positive, and obviously you've shifted now that you're a coach and educator. I'm sure there's been mentors, and now you've moved into the role as a mentor too. So tell us a little bit about a mentor in your life, and I don't want to, if that's in the book and you don't want to share too much, just give us a little tidbit about a mentor that made a difference and how they did it.
Come on, Tim, and we got stories for days.
I know,
As
I
a
don't
as a
know how much
coach,
you want to give away of the book,
as a
or
coach, we got them for days.
but I don't mean to interrupt before you answer that, but mentorship is such a big piece of overcoming obstacles. you
Yeah,
know, we can't do success alone, and we
Yeah.
need
yeah,
those people to help guide us or show us that it can
no
be done.
doubt.
So I want to hear about some in your life, and specifically what they did.
Lee, you want to jump
uh,
on that first, brother?
Man, I guess I'll bet lead off on this one. But like you said, I mean, there's so many to choose from. But I will say, if I started with education and just my entry into education, I remember when I first took my first job as an educator, and mind you, I only got into education because I wanted to coach. That was so I was a late bloomer. I was working in the retail industry, and and retail management prior to. But when I got into education, I only got in because I wanted to coach. But I had to wait. I had to get a job first, and then I had to get an opportunity. And when I first got the job, I didn't get the opportunity to coach. And I remember I was teaching a life skills class because that's what my job was at the time, and I enjoyed every bit of it. But I was grateful for that moment because I was passionate about coaching, but I didn't quite understand how to coach. Being a former athlete, and when you've been a successful former athlete, you go in initially thinking that everybody's supposed to meet your standard of be at your athletic abilities when you once played, and so you don't come in with an open mind. But I actually had my first opportunity to really, really see the dynamics of what it was like to work with all type of kids and work with all type of starting points, and that came in the classroom. So my first mentor for me was actually a lady that I worked with. Her name was Miss Griffith, and she worked with me in Dayton, Texas. And it was in that life skills classroom where she really, really taught me how to work with students with all type of disabilities, student with all type of different challenges, and it really taught me a level of patience before I ever got a whistle and got a chance to step on the football field or basketball court and coach a team. And then I came in with such a different dynamic and approach than when I would have initially had if I didn't do it. So I actually believe that first adversity for me that I got mentored through was the wait. I had to wait on what I wanted. I went through a whole full semester before I ever got a chance to coach. And when I got the chance to coach, I kind of hit the ground running and had immediate success. And oftentimes people always say, "Man, you work so well with these kids, and you do such a great job." And honestly, it all stemmed from that life skills classroom. It all stemmed from learning how to work as a team and meet the needs of those kids that had disabilities and challenges that were faced with things every day that, I mean, we can only imagine. And it taught me how to appreciate the small things. We want to win. We hate to lose, but you have to understand what a win is. And it taught me how to appreciate the small victories as we're working toward the large victory. So I shout out to Miss Griffin, who was just an excellent mentor. She knew the day that I got that job that that I didn't read the fine print because I didn't know what I was getting into. But man, I'm forever grateful to her and the staff in Dayton, man, for all they did to help me and where I am today. So
Awesome.
I love
I,
it.
I loved your
Yeah,
comment about the wait. Because I think, especially in today's generation, they don't want to wait. And often we have to get something better.
So good. So good. I'll dive in there if you don't mind. I think first off, when you asked the question, Tammy, it gave me chills, right? Because it's so much to it, right? And it made me reflect on like my upbringing, like with my family, right? Like the community that I'm from. It made me think about like the different environments or settings that I've been blessed and fortunate to be in. College football, college, get my degree, going into a career, starting in the junior high system, being able to go to a high school system where we went to, made the semifinals in state, my first varsity job, and then, being asked to go to another high school or to start a program where I was there for 12 years. And, just it makes me think about the whole path, right? The whole career, the whole lifetime. And if I just said one particular, I wouldn't do justice because there's been so many people that have loved and taken care of me, right? I'm a product of a whole lot of people loving me. But I think that there's two situations that come to mind for me. I was at Conroe High School. Well, let me go back. I was at Oak Ridge High School, and that was a school where we went to the state semis in football that year. My very first varsity job, right? My coach, the tight end, he was in the top 100 in the state, played Division I football. They joke with me, man, that's all coaching. Man, before you got here, he couldn't walk and chew gum. That's all coaching, right? They messing with me. Like, no, brother, it ain't had nothing to do with me. I just need to get out the way and don't mess him up. Right. But then had an opportunity to go to a different school. Our head coach got a job, and I was one of four guys that he asked to come over to that school. I had only worked with this staff for like less than 6 months, right? And so I was asked to come over, and so that experience, first off, uh, it was really neat for me because people saw something in me that they felt that I could add value to something, right? So I ended up going to that school, ended up becoming, I was a tight end coach at Oak Ridge, but then ended up being an O-line coach, like at a big high school in Texas football, right? Offensive line coach, right? Me, like you should me, you should want me to do that, right? And so got the opportunity to do that. But in that job, in our coaching office, there was two guys that I sat beside their desk. Our desks were right beside each other. And they really helped me in life, right? Coach John Whitehead, he ended up coaching, man, almost 40 years. And the guy to the left was Coach Joe Moore. He ended up coaching. I mean, he's actually coached, like he's still in education. He got out and got back in. So 40 years as well, right? So Coach Moore, he ran FCA, great guy, was a deacon, so learned a lot about faith and energy and passion and how to do things. And then Coach Whitehead, he had been through some life things and been through a divorce and some things like, hey, boy, don't do this. Like, hey, make sure So he was able to teach me some life lessons. Make sure you communicate at the house. All the things that he made mistakes on. He was able to say, hey, don't do this, right? But the bigger thing is they saw some things in me and they gave me opportunities, right? So, like for example, we put on camps. So Coach Whitehead's like, hey, I'm gonna teach you how to do this camp because like next year you're gonna be the camp guy. I'm like, again, like me, like you talking to me, right? So, mentor me, push me, help me out. Hey, check out this, check this, organize this, set this up, ensure, like all of those different things. And so I ended up doing camp stuff. And then fast forward, it then ended up letting me help my hometown because growing up we couldn't afford to do camp. So go to the A&M camp or the UT camp. So I learned how to do camp. So I started taking a camp to my hometown. And so I did a camp in my hometown for 10 years, right? Based off of what those guys had mentored and taught me. And so, like I said, stories for days, lots of influences, but those are two that stuck out for me, like right off the top, from my experiences that I'm truly grateful for. And it's really made a positive, huge positive impact on my life.
What I really like about that, Chip, is when we first started talking and I'm looking at the title of your book, my immediate thoughts were the coaches that were my mentors and the impact they've had. I've coaches from 35, 40 years ago that have put principles and things into my life that are still instilled in me today. But what that story made me think about as you were telling it too is how many coaches that I've been able to work with as a coach, not as a player, that have been such an impact on me too, and mentors. And yeah, no, I appreciate that. So tell us a little bit more about the book. Is that what this book is? Is it coaches sharing their stories of mentorship? And what can a reader expect for when they get this book?
Well, first off, I'm gonna just say this: the book is amazing, and I'm not saying it because it's Chip Baker's book, right? I'm not saying it because of that. I'm saying,
Anything Chip Baker does is amazing.
oh
Come on.
shucks, Tammy, cut it out. But it's amazing. No, and I'm not saying it because like because I'm not a me guy, right? But I'm saying it because oh, that's good right here. So like we all have value, right? We all add value to the world, right? But when we can come together, the value that we have it multiplies, right? And multiplication is always better than addition. And so in this book, it is prime example of that. Like I'm excited because of the people that's in it. Like you heard George Lee's story. Golly, man. Like just great guys. I mean, we got some guys that are D1 coaches in here, former athletic directors, current athletic directors, current people that are in the trenches doing the work, like big time influencer coaches, that people are looking to them as the go to in their areas, right? And so I'm just so excited for the world to hear their stories and hear their journeys and hear what they have to say about mentoring. And so there's so many good nuggets that a reader can glean from this that they can actually apply, right? Because life change happens in the application. Right? We can learn all day long, but you have to put to work, like apply what you learn, so you don't waste your time. And so I'm excited for the readers to read it, check it out, highlight, tear it up, and then go apply the lessons because I'm telling you, it will make you better. And I'm not talking about just my chapter. I'm talking about like man, I'm putting it together and I'm so excited because I do that too. Like I'll go through and I'll highlight and I'll take notes and everything from every chapter myself.
That's awesome. How many authors do you have? Did you say?
I didn't say, but we have 20 we have 20 authors.
20 authors from a
Yeah,
wide range of fields and
wide range of fields, older, younger, men, women. Oh man, we have one guy. Man, I have a guy that's from my hometown. So proud of him. When I was a head coach, I was able to hire him on as a coach for his very first job. He's continued to stay there, and he's taken the girls' basketball team in our hometown to state. Then he just went to the guys' side this year, and he took the boys to state this year. So man, just things like that. I mean, think about the experiences that he's had, in his short, brief career, right? And so like he's sharing, mentoring a story. So it's really good, really fortunate.
I look forward to reading it myself. So you got me
Yeah,
interested. So
let's
Absolutely.
go.
yeah. Well, give us, George, I'm gonna throw this one at you. Give us 2 or 3 sentences of why somebody should go get the book.
Uh, First, you should go get it because it's a Chip Baker production.
Enough
I
said.
tried to lob that one up there for you.
Boom.
um, I I think this book is value is in its variety. Um, I think that's the biggest thing. Its value is in its variety. I think what you will get from the authors in this book is that there's no cookie cutter method to how we got here, but there are there are roads to success. There are roads to impact and influence, but they all start with us being taught before we became teachers. And it goes back to the whole weight process that, the best food is cooked, not microwaved. And so I think that's why you need to go get this book because you get a whole lot of cooking out of this book. So
I've gotten a whole lot of all these little nuggets both of you are just throwing out. I'm gonna have to remember to reshare some of these. So,
So
um,
good.
where can we get the book? Where can we learn more about it? How do we follow you guys?
Yeah. So the book, we're still in the infant phases. It's in the process of being with the editor now. It will release in May. So right around the corner. And then once it's released, we will have we'll put it out there and we'll have on all of the authors, their social medias. I ask that you go follow them, and we'll have your list of the authors. Go follow them. Go show them some love and support. They'll have links where you can purchase the books from them. Of course, it'll be on Amazon and all of those, Audible, all of that stuff. We'll do all of that too. So we're excited about it.
Awesome.
That's
Well,
great. I really am looking forward to it. I just want to add in for our listeners too, because we all know this, but our listeners may not. If you recognize that voice, Chip is the intro and outro for our podcast. So if that's where you're thinking, I know this voice from somewhere, thank
Yeah.
you for that, Chip.
No,
But
thank
no,
you
this is
guys.
awesome. I'm really
yeah.
looking forward to this book. And again, Chip, just for our audience, share again, what number of book is this?
This book, he's forcing me to say it, guys. He's forcing me to say it. No, this will be book number 26. Um,
26.
Ooh-wee.
and it's
So you
crazy.
definitely, listeners, please go and get this book. It's obviously going to be a great book, but there's 25 others that you need to add to your collection too.
I
And
love it.
Tammy,
Thank
I
you.
believe you're in one of those ones, aren't you?
I
Yes,
am. I am.
yes,
Very
yes.
on top of them, actually. Yeah.
Yep, yep. And I just think too, just like what we talked about when we started. Like I really meant that when I said, like, man, believe in what you guys do. I'm grateful to be here. Um, Man, I'm just so grateful that the big man has allowed, all of us actually, to cross paths. Because I think, every one of you on this show and, all of the authors that are in the book, they have all added value to my life as well. Right. And man, like it's a blessing to have people in your life that say yes. Right? Like it's a blessing to have heck yes people in your life, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? Like 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 you don't have to say you don't have to explain anything. Like I don't even need to hear it. Come on, let's go, right? Like it's a blessing to have people like that in your life. People that'll be out of town and drive to come see you. Oh wait, Jeff did that, right? Right? Like it's a blessing to have that, and I don't take any of that lightly. And so I'm truly grateful. And I want to say to you guys, thank you so much for having us again.
Oh, thank you. You
Pleasure.
have definitely bettered my life, Chip. And George, it's been nice to meet you, and I look forward to connecting more with you.
Yes, ma'am. Likewise. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate the opportunity, Chip. Appreciate the opportunity. And you guys have added value to me as well today as well.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Chip, you can lead us off with
Let's go get it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Go
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 get
get
it.
Oh,
get
get
it.
it.
Boom. Thank you for joining us on Challenger Deep, Athletes Rising Above Adversity. We hope these stories inspire and equip you to tackle life's challenges head on. Don't forget to visit www.confidentathleteprogram.com/Challenger Deep to get all of our free resources from the book, your copy of our book, and access to 2 free weeks of the Confident Athlete Program. Remember, in life, adversity only visits the strong. It stays forever with the weak. Let's rise above together. See you next time.